Token Metrics is a cryptocurrency investment platform that helps users leverage machine learning to become better crypto investors. Our in-depth analysis helps eliminate the emotions of investing, find profitable investment opportunities, and filters out scams. Learn more at tokenmetrics.com.
We are live. Welcome to the Market Update. I'm your host, Bill Noble. This show is brought to you by TokenMetrics.com. If you need a roadmap in crypto and you need to make money in crypto, subscribe to this channel. Turn on the alerts bell so you know when we're going live. And of course, if you like the content, please give us a thumbs up. All right, let's welcome our friends on the stream. All right. We have Jojo. We have Ali from London. Sheldon from the Caribbean. Welcome. All right. Rule. Hi. All right. We have Brighton, England. We have Utah. All right. Sheldon wants to know, will Jerome hit us with a 50 basis point increase on the fly? Driftless, Omar, hi. New Zealand, up late. Wisconsin, okay. Off vacation, back in the UPS truck. We got a UPS driver in Brooklyn watching the show. Appreciate you. Okay, thumbs up from London, Halifax, right? Houston, Texas. What's up? Bill, tell me something good about DOT. I actually can. All right. We have East Tennessee, Baltimore, right? And all of our friends. Yes, I can tell you something positive about DOT. All right. Let's jump. Let's get to it. Your market update. All right. Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Ever heard of this? Oh, yeah. This is a big pomp thing. Bitcoin maximalist guys on Twitter love this. Man, if there was ever a time for this, it is right now. No joke. All right. So the net is the case for crypto short term, to me, seems really good. Right? This idea of Bitcoin and crypto as a part of a new monetary order, and crypto as just something that people have to have and that institutions may have to get away from what's going on in legacy. All right. Morph wants to know if this is alt season. Let's cover that. Right. Let's cover how much speculative juices are out there in the market. All right. For tokenmetrics.com, Women's History Month, women in crypto. 25% off the site. I'm going to show you a pie graph after this slide that should get you going and should show you why tokenmetrics.com can help you. WIC 25 all will get you 25% off any annual or monthly plan, as I understand it, for the next 10 days. You may be able to make enough money in 10 days to pay for the whole year's subscription. So check that out. Somebody said, Bill, tell me something good about Polkadot. Token Metrics works with artificial intelligence and machine learning, right, to find the best ranked cryptos. Then it groups them together into portfolios and indices where you can check your favorite exchange daily, weekly, or monthly. I found it fascinating that both Ethereum, Thorchain, Rune, which we've been liking for a while, and Polkadot shows up. Polkadot has done nothing, making people who hold Polkadot miserable. On a percentage return basis, Polkadot has dramatically underperformed Ethereum. So let's see what happens. Okay. And as Tyson says, not financial advice, right? All right. So we have India. See who else we got going on here. We have India in the house up late at night. Taz, welcome. All right. I'm doing all right. We're glad you could join us. All right. We have Luxembourg here. Welcome. Now let's talk about legacy. Let's talk about all the charts in legacy that boil down to one important theme. Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Interest rates are up this morning. The U.S. 10-year note yield is at 228. So everybody is selling bonds. Interest rates are going higher, and everybody is afraid. Perfect time to talk about actually buying bonds and interest rates falling, because isn't it interesting that interest rates are up, but Bitcoin and crypto, especially Ethereum, as of now, is green on the day. Normally, higher interest rates wreck crypto. Crypto not getting wrecked as of now. Interesting, right? European interest rates. Wow, is this unbelievable? These rates were at like negative 90 basis points. Negative 0.9. They're close to positive 0.5 this morning. Okay? Everybody's selling bonds everywhere. Okay? And again, interest rates not bothering crypto. Now, I'm also wondering if it's actually time to buy bonds, right? If interest rates may not start falling after people get done with today's hysterics. This is the 7 to 10-year note yield. The 7 to 10-year note U.S. Treasury ETF. So we were doing rates up, bonds down, right? Bonds down. Okay, so this is bond prices. What do we see on the 7 to 10-year note ETF? It's a 13 and a 9 bottom. Oh, shit. Right? Everybody hysterically selling bonds, right? Man, and this is a tough chart, right? I mean, if you tried to get long bonds at any point in the last 6 days, you got smoked. And of course, nobody's trying to get long bonds because they think the Fed's going to go on the warpath because of inflation. Now, the Fed should have been on the warpath about inflation a long time ago. So you're asking yourself, okay, Bill, well, I've been to the grocery store lately and inflation's a disaster, and I understand that, right? And the bond market could blow up. I understand that too. But remember, bonds are getting hammered, rates are up, and crypto is holding, okay? Now, just a brief announcement about what could happen in oil. Okay, what is the connection between bonds and oil? Well, if oil goes up, economic growth may stagnate. Okay, so the Fed can tighten all at once, but the oil market may tighten for it. So I'm looking at this oil chart on the bottom right-hand corner, shows what's left in the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserve. That would be the petroleum reserve we use for national and military emergencies, which has been released to keep gas prices down in the United States. Meanwhile, crude oil on the chart over on the left could go to $200 a barrel. Now, of course, that's a chart structure that's debatable, but if oil is above 123, okay, oil has a creeping bid this morning, don't doubt that it can go to 200. I see much higher oil. Yeah, that's inflationary, but that stops world economies in its tracks. Okay? That could create lower rates and benefit crypto. It could. Okay? The US dollar versus the Russian ruble. Our premium customer base, I put this on their radar a long time ago. Now, currently, the US dollar versus the ruble is on support at 100. It could go to 180. So dollar up, ruble down. What would have to happen in the world if this chart came true? What would have to happen if the ruble made a new low as the dollar made a new high? What would the world look like? Well, to me, it's a world where you better effing have crypto. No joke. Okay. Now, the dollar index, all right, this is where it gets tricky. All right. The dollar index is got a bullish formation and it could go higher. What does that mean for crypto? Well, I think it means Bitcoin positive short term. But if this dollar chart takes off, that either creates a dip or a larger mess in risk assets. Okay. So the risk to this idea of long crypto, short the banks is this chart. Now you're like, Bill, you talked about long Bitcoin. We'll do more charts later, but what's with this short the banks thing? Okay, well, this is European banks, and there's been a nice bear market rally, but if you look at the black arrow, European banks have come back to a point where there's resistance. Now, if the Russians start defaulting on debt, or Russian companies decide to default on debt at the request of the government, this could hurt European banks a lot. Okay? So the people who invented long Bitcoin, short the banks, couldn't imagine a scenario this sort of nightmarish, where crypto would be a place where people would go to get away from something in legacy that's borderline unthinkable. Okay? S&P futures. Okay? Stocks not bothered by all this. Okay? Stocks are approaching resistance. S&P ES1 on your trading view. Okay? Resistance is between 44.62 and 45.88. Those will be the levels to look at. The best barometer of the short the banks part is how S&P trades. To me, it looks like it's time to buy bonds and sell stocks. That's me, right? Problems in legacy that will probably benefit crypto over the next 10 days. Now, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has got two upside targets, 44 and 47,500. Right now, I have a downside target there if it's a mess. That's just below the July lows. But I'm wondering if Bitcoin doesn't have a shot at higher prices, just on a squeeze, just on people going, hey man, I gotta get some crypto. I just gotta get crypto. Now let's take a look at the tactical view. Okay, so this is Bitcoin, a 4-hour chart. So there's a DeMark 9 bottom on this, which could lead to nothing. It could lead to a counter trend bounce, right? So down 9 bottom. Those can lead to a bounce, as people who have been listening to the show know. And it either creates a bottom if it's a range bound environment, or it's down 9 bottom, up, and then trend lower. I'm sort of betting that Bitcoin doesn't fall apart, that Bitcoin holds. That's the bet for today, right? Long Bitcoin, short the banks. Now, Ethereum, all right, didn't pay to sell it at 2,500, may not pay to buy it at 3,000. So either the dip in Ethereum is today because you've got a 13 top, okay, which has worked spectacularly well in this range. What's a 13 top? Well, it comes from Tom DeMark, right? He was the first quantitative technical analyst. He'll count a certain set of conditions, or his method will. So like the high is higher than the high 3 days ago. It's complicated. Traders have been taught to look for the 13s and the 9s, right? The 13th time a set of conditions is prevalent. That's the point where you start looking for a reversal. So either ETH and alts are due to correct a little bit or a lot. Don't know how much yet, all right? Looking at ETH, 2851 is a key support level. Why is that? Well, that's the top of a triangle. Normally, these type of formations really don't work that good in crypto. They're more of a legacy thing. But you do have to be careful that, ETH breaking out at the top was not a fake out, because you don't really want to see ETH coming back inside the formation. That could be a bit fugly. But again, I don't know what the rationale is to be short ETH with inflation the way it is. Okay, normally with inflation as high as it is, ETH should be much higher. So tactically, short-term top. FOMO in? No. Like, wait a day or however many days, right? Hopefully, ETH doesn't get smacked. One thing I'd love to see is something to change, like a 13 top that leads to a small decline rather than the, sort of $150 decline that it's meant recently, right? So if you go back up here, last 13 top took ETH from 3,000 to 2,500. Right. And that bottom at 2,500 was grotesque. I mean, it looked like it was going to zero. Okay. So let's see what happens with ETH. Let's see if crypto can hold together. Now, obviously, if ETH, winds up back at 2,500, it'll be like short the bank, short Bitcoin. But I'm thinking that this new monetary order is going to get traded. It may get traded now or later. I'm betting now. Right? So let's think 47 or 44 in Bitcoin, and, we'll put a stop in, and if we get smoked, fine, right? I don't think I want to be bearish Bitcoin at 40K, given what's going on with the banks. All right, now let's look at altcoins. Avalanche got to our target at 91. So it may pay to take profits in Avalanche, or if you've got losing positions, think about adjusting those positions in Avalanche. Obviously, if Avalanche blows through 91, you're probably in the middle of a stealth alt season. So Avalanche is a good indicator. Rune has room to go to 10. Okay, I was looking for one more dip, right? Brutal over the weekend. You got a new high, then the dip, right? Totally sick, right? Total classic bull market in terms of the people who bought the dip FOMO'd in at the top, then it dipped. All right. So if Rune is above 886, this idea of a one coin market can continue. Not investment advice. Rune is a technologically risky project. Okay. However, it does have cross-chain DeFi applications. So keep that in mind. Very interesting chart here. So if Bitcoin broke out and Avalanche broke out and Rune continued, you can have a positive crypto environment. Again, people are going to try to get away from legacy problems, whether those legacy problems show up this week or later. You can just feel people moving into crypto. Okay, ApeCoin. Be remiss if I didn't talk about ApeCoin, right? Oh, on Friday, I was like, hey, if this thing's not above 15, don't touch it, right? That turned out to work out okay. Now I'm guessing if you want to know the level where sellers may puke it all out to, it might be $8.48. So if you were looking to get long, perhaps $8.48 is the level worth waiting for, right? The theme of the show is no FOMO, okay? And that is the market update. All right. How's my microphone out there? Too loud? Whoops. All right. Let's check the microphone settings. Okay, how's my sound now? Better? Maybe? All right, let's go to the DeMark work and check where we are. Okay, so it looks like Bitcoin's coming back. okay? And ETH is bid, all right? So I'm not looking to get all negative. What I'm looking for is to see this bearish signal and have ETH dip and hold at some point. Now, again, this little warning signal from the DeMark Smart stochastic, right? Just as a reminder that hope is not a tactic. Okay, here was the last warning signal at the last 13 bottom. So this market can get smacked, right? It can. So I don't think you FOMO into ETH when it's up on the day. I think you try to buy a dip, right? It's not a bull market unless you can buy a dip and make money, right? If it's long Bitcoin, short the banks, you should be able to buy a dip in crypto and make money. Okay, somebody wants to know if we can stay long KNC. Marco from Estonia is in the house. Let's take a look at KNC. Okay, by the way, this was picked up by our AI a long time ago. Okay, so this is the 4-hour chart of KNC. Okay, not seeing a huge reason to get out here. Let's look at the daily. All right, so we're approaching a DeMark 9 top, all right, in KNC. Now, the last time we had a 9 top, it went sideways and back and forth. So maybe Kyber trades in a range, or maybe there is one big thrust above 350 to give you the 9 top. Okay, so not seeing a big reason to get out there. Okay, here comes Chainlink. Okay, Chainlink, all right, there's the 13 top. Okay, that was March 19th. Okay, so that was after the show, naturally, over the weekend. Now, Chainlink dips, most likely support at 1412. Okay, buying stuff at the top end of the range has not worked. Now, I know what you're feeling. You're like, oh my God, alts went up all weekend. Damn it, I missed it. Okay, maybe you did. But buying strength and selling weakness has not paid in weeks, if not the entire year. So if you're looking to get long something, you may have to wait. Support in Chainlink is at 1412. Polkadot, the redheaded stepchild that is killing everyone who loves it. Let's see if there's any promise on the Polkadot chart. Okay, so on the Polkadot 4-hour chart, there's a lot of resistance at 1918 and 1987. So Polkadot is dipping, right? And the question is, this is a 4 count. Will Polkadot be able to turn around and reverse? It's showing up in some of our AI indices. Sometimes our AI indices pick up on things that have been range trading. So, this base in Polkadot is unbelievable, right? I mean, it's just sat down here for the longest time. Wouldn't it be funny if you woke up one day and Polkadot woke up? So if you're a Token Metrics subscriber, you can go to those indices on a daily basis across exchanges and see if Polkadot shows up day after day. If Polkadot shows up in the daily index one day, okay, that's a one-day idea. But if Polkadot shows up day after day after day, particularly since it's going sideways, right? Sometimes our AI, knows the transition between consolidation and uptrend. 2-wave to 3-wave for all the Elliott wave guys out there. Sometimes it picks up the bigger the base, the higher in the space. That's what Polkadot could be. Okay. So, not investment advice. Don't want to feed you hopium, but, if Polkadot was ever going to do something, now might be the time. Is this the bottom in VeChain? I say this about VeChain all the time. All right. So VeChain is green on the day with, everything else down. Let's see what the 4-hour chart looks like. 0.0528 is the level that VeChain has to surmount. So VeChain is a good example of what we're looking for across markets. So there's the top signal, 13 and 9 together. There's the correction. Looks awful, right? But we have to see if it comes back. Now, on paper, this might be a good day to buy the dip in VeChain. Not investment advice. Okay. So if you can buy the dip in VeChain today, March 21, and make money, and we may be in business not only in VeChain, but in alts. All right. So welcome everybody who is now joining for the request portion of the show. All right. We know that that's popular. Please hit the like button. Okay. Somebody's asking for Kusama. Okay, let's take a look at the Kusama 4-hour chart. Okay, so we have a volatility warning in Kusama. Okay, that could be a top. We have resistance at 163, but we don't have Kusama backing off. Okay, I got to be honest with you. You have this rounding bottom going on in some of these coins. Now, I don't know. It's got to take out resistance, but it's hard to be negative. It's hard to be negative crypto when crypto trades okay, especially after the Russians tried to escalate over the weekend. So this is a joke we have on the stream that every Sunday, right before S&P futures open, right, there's a stunt by the Russians to try and scare everybody. So last night, they had until 5 a.m. Moscow time, which conveniently was primetime TV time in the United States, Sunday night. They had until 5 a.m. Moscow time to evacuate a city or else. Again, they scare everybody, right? Crypto goes down, but then crypto comes back. Okay, so I don't know if crypto's going up forever, but I'm certainly not going to fight positive price action. And if you were long Kusama, right, yeah, it's at resistance. Yeah, it has not paid to buy it at resistance, but it is so destroyed, it could pay to hold it, just like Polkadot. Okay, Highhawk wants to know how you get the mark numbers. The name of the software is Symbolic. Okay. Okay, Taz wants us to check out FTM. Now, we got the bottom in FTM. And the question is, can Phantom continue to go up? Okay, this is the daily chart. We have a decent-looking candlestick on top of a DeMark moving average. Okay, here comes the 4-hour chart of Phantom. All right, so as you would suspect, with a nice rally off the low, Phantom is correcting today. I think the theme I want to go with all cryptos is, you don't want to buy resistance, but if you're holding or bag holding in certain cryptos, why don't you give it a couple days? I mean, I'm pretty sure at some point this war trade and the legacy problems are going to catch up with everything except Bitcoin. All right. But, if you're in Phantom, I don't know, give it a chance. AVAX at 91 is resistance. If it doesn't back off, right, then alts can go higher. Luna is at 92. That's a level we talked about last week. All right. Just getting an interview. I'm just getting a message from our podcast guy letting us know that we will be recording a Rune interview tomorrow with one of the founders of Rune, if not the top guy. So make sure you subscribe to Token Metrics YouTube channel. Don't miss that. Don't. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, somebody who's looking at Elrond. Okay, so not going to lie, and all these charts are going to look the same, right? I mean, you know, at 125, Elrond looked horrible, right? And then at 175, it looks like it's going to the moon, right? There's probably, that was a 13 bottom down here, and there's a possible 13 top coming, right? So sometimes Elrond can make wild new highs. I wouldn't doubt that. Let's look at a daily chart. All right, so you have the big rally up today in Elrond, new high for the move. No reason on the daily chart to think that this can't go higher, right? Probably 199. So like all the intraday charts are going to look overdone, right? Because if you think of crypto in a range, they're all going to look the same. So should you FOMO into resistance? I don't think so, because that hasn't worked. Now, if you were hodling Elrond, hodl on, not investment advice. King says there's a possible teacup and handle formation in Avalanche. Okay, so again, we were looking at our tactical Avalanche position or our tactical Avalanche chart. All right, and I understand what he's talking about. Let's see if I can get over here, because I know one of our most loyal, if not our most loyal viewer is involved in Avalanche. So we want to make sure we give our Avalanche friends and our loyal viewers a lot of love. By the way, speaking of our loyal viewers, okay, we got about 5,000 people that watch this show. If you're watching this show and you're one of the 5,000 people, thank you. Thank you for watching our show. We appreciate your business. You tune in for the stream live, double thank you. We appreciate that. If you're new to the stream, welcome, right? For market ideas, AI, human, stick with us. Now, let's check this out. Do we have a teacup and handle in Avalanche? All right, this is the part of the show where, you know, my talking slows down. Because I got to draw stuff. All right. So to me, that could be the teacup part. Now, if there's going to be a handle, it'll be over here. And handles are ugly. They're just shitty, right? They form ranges that are really tough to deal with. So if that's a teacup and handle, you may have a really crappy range to deal with, right? I mean, handles are awful. They bore you. They shake you out. But that would make sense with some of the things we've talked about, right? You know, long-term holders want to try to hold, do it. Do it. You held on for this long, right? The legacy problems are out there. That's eventually going to get altcoins, but maybe not this week, maybe not today. So, you know, long Bitcoin, short the banks, I'm going with. Okay, altcoins, take your shot, right? If you're not taking your shot now, when are you doing it? You put a stop in, and like I said, if you're long, leave it, right? If you miss the up trade, then see if you can buy a dip. Because it's not a bull market unless you can buy a dip and make money. But FOMOing into Avalanche at 90-something has not worked. It has not worked all year. It has not worked all year, right? Anytime Avalanche's gotten anywhere near 91, not working, okay? Somebody thinks Cardano could go up a lot. By the way, hopefully my microphone is okay now. I'm not getting any messages about it, so I'm assuming we're good. Now, I looked at the Cardano chart this morning, and I'm like, you know, I got to be honest with you. This is getting interesting to me, right? So there's this idea of the rounded bottom in Cardano. There's resistance at $1. Duh, right? Let's look at the 4-hour chart to see if Cardano looks anything different than anything else does. Hey, look at this. Okay. Cardano does a 9 top, right? Comes down, but finds support. So there were buyers on this DeMark point at 87 cents. Now, Cardano shot up this morning to a new high. Okay. The question is, can you buy a dip and make money? Somebody's out there buying Cardano. Now, all right, before we get too excited, you know, we do have a volatility warning indicator. All right. So how do we piece that out? If you can buy a dip in Cardano and it doesn't go down, it could go up a lot, right? These warnings work in both directions, okay? So this was the warning of a bottom, okay? It went up and then crashed, brutal. This is the warning of a possible top, okay? Now, maybe that was it this morning in Cardano. Maybe that was it. I don't know. If you're watching this video 2 days from now, you'll know by then, okay? If you can buy a dip, if you can buy this dip in Cardano and make money, then this is a warning sign of higher prices. If you buy a dip in Cardano and you get stopped out, this could be a warning that the altcoin party is over and this is moving into Bitcoin, okay? Okay, XRP. I got to be honest with you. I know that big YouTubers have been talking about this for a while, right? Like BitBoy. But this thing as a payment system gets more interesting to me every day. Now, you can see on the 240-minute chart, you know, it's easy to be bullish at the top, right? You know, it hasn't really paid to buy XRP above 80 cents. But this XRP rally looks a bit like, I think I can, I think I can, I think I can. There was a DeMark support point at 79 cents, right? XRP sat on top of that for 4 days, along with this DeMark moving average. Sometimes that's called a bird on a wire getting ready to fly. You know, I mean, I'm a technical analyst, and I'm looking at this, and I'm like, you know what? Of all the things that are out there, this actually looks okay. This looks okay to me. Maybe I should have put it in the title for the stream. Okay. In other words, the D wave on XRP weekly for laughs, right? So you're going to have to follow my cursor. Starting in the bottom left, okay, it went from 13 cents, all right, to 78 cents. That's the one wave. It went back down again. Then there was the 3 wave, right, which topped out at 189. D wave, which is DeMark's Elliott wave tool, shows the bottom of the 4 wave at 55 cents. So the next level is 171. And, you know, if the theory is right, XRP could make a new high versus where it was in April. So there's a lot of technical evidence that suggests XRP could go up. And I'm wondering if smart money knows what's going to happen with the court case. When can we rely on a 9 count in DeMark? Okay, well, a 9 count can mean one of two things. It could mean a temporary break in the trend. So if it's a monster trend, the 9 top creates a dip, say in an up move, and then the next phase begins. Or if it's in a range, it's like 9 bottom, 9 top. So it's not perfect. You have to know what stage of the market you're in or what Elliott Waves section you're in. So welcome to Brazil, okay? Okay, Ren is still not moving. Okay, so this is the Ren weekly chart. Here's the 13 bottom and major support at 33 cents. So I understand that this coin has been a massive disappointment, but sometimes it can be a leading indicator or it can move along with the interoperability Polkadot trade. And I remember seeing something that looked like this in Sandbox pre-Fed, where I sat here and goes, you know, I know nobody would ever want to buy speculative coins. Duh, right? A sure sign of a bottom, and then the metaverse moved. So Ren is forming a base on support, and let's leave it at that. Can the fundamental team at Token Metrics prepare something about the projects digitizing the financial system, like insurance? Okay, we've looked at Armor before. There's been a lot of volatility in that coin, but I will pass it on, and it's a good little commercial. And we do have fundamental analysts that track themes. We have dedicated analysts now. We have gaming and metaverse, 2 guys on NFTs, right? DeFi, and a director of research that oversees all of the small coin research. Okay, helium. Okay, so we're just like messing around here. This is a helium weekly chart. Note the nice DeMark 9 bottom. Looks pretty nifty, right? I mean, you know, if you believe in helium long term, that chart is bullish AF, right? Helium was down and it's coming back above a moving average, right? Now, I'm sure if we go to that's a daily chart. Now, if I'm sure if we go to intraday, right? Okay, Medi, no, you did not miss Luna. I have not done Luna. Okay, so helium, right? DeMark 9 top down, DeMark 9 bottom, support at 22.23. Naturally, they have to blow it out below support, stop everyone out, of course, okay, before it probably goes back to 24.93. Okay, let's go to Luna. You know what? Even though there is a stochastic situation in Luna that I don't particularly like, it's getting harder and harder to not like Luna. So this is the 4-hour chart. Okay, no real sign of a top, right? DeMark 9, remember how I said that can lead to a break in the trend? Well, there's the break in the trend, and now the trend is resuming. Let's go to Luna on a daily chart. Okay, a lot of good DeMark support at 87. And it looks like they banged on that a couple times, and now it's going the other way. I mean, I had a chart of Luna on TradingView that was talking about 140. We got to build a new banking system through crypto. I can't believe Luna and its stablecoin, right? Okay. How about a few hottie coins and a few speculative coins? Okay, well, let's look at Jasmy, considering, you know, we had somebody on the show, okay, call up for Jasmy every single day for like 3 days. And I was like, dude, you know what? You may have to give up on this, right? Because it looks like everyone else is. Kind of like the biggest bottom of all time, because I lived the pain of the bottom with this dude. I lived it. So this is Jasmy, the weekly chart. I'm sorry, the daily chart. So obviously the DeMark 9 bottom down here, and then there may be a DeMark 9 top up here. That might come tomorrow. Okay. Now let's look at a 4-hour chart. So someone's asking on the show, is this a bull flag? Maybe. Okay. So here's a warning about volatility in Jasmy. No shit, right? Here's the decline, a 9 bottom, and it looks like people want it again. So the way I would describe this is like the trend is your friend, right? If you can buy a dip in Jasmy and make money, then the uptrend is intact. Now, when I go over here to Trading View, right, if we look at Jasmy over here, right, we discussed this on Friday. So the give up trade in Jasmy started at 0.046. Looks like the last round up, they were able to like punch through that. So if this thing comes back and they go back through 0.046, then they mean business on the bottom in this thing. Now, before you lose your mind, that's also going to be resistance from the Fibonacci speed resistance lines, which we drew off the high in Jasmy. So in the hot coins, you can buy the dip. And the question is, will you make money? Well, you might, because we're having like a speculative fund party in crypto, right? It's just typical, right? Like I've learned this, right? If I can put together 7 legacy charts that are scary, okay, it's probably a sign that everyone sees that, and we can have speculative fever for, I don't know, however many days we can have speculative fever, 2 weeks. Let's go with it. I work for a crypto company, right? You need to make money on the upside while you can. Now, somebody's asking for highly speculative coins. Let's check ApeCoin, because I can't believe that, no one's interested in that. Okay, let's work off Coinbase. All right. So if ApeCoin is no good, right? If they sell ApeCoin down, it's $8.48, right? I know that people like hot coins, but if you really like hot coins, you got to get yourself over to tokenmetrics.com. We have a ratings page that rates the AI, goes through the whole universe of cryptos and brings the hot small coins to the top of the list. All right, so literally you can like log in with a low dollar subscription. You can't see the portfolios, but you can see what's on the ratings page. If you need to make money in crypto, etc., right? Okay, what are we talking about? Solana. All right, Solana's breaking everyone's heart on the 4-hour chart, okay, because it keeps going to resistance at 90 and failing, okay? Not particularly a big fan of this volatility warning. Okay, let's check Solana on a daily chart. Okay, just like everything else, it looks like it's supported. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. When you look at a weekly chart of Solana, honestly, it's pretty hard to be bearish. It is. I mean, if risk assets get wrecked, well, you know what? No shit, right? It's going to go down. But, I look at this DeMark 9 bottom. I mean, this was in January. So we are now 2 months later. Now, Solana hasn't done anything, which could mean, VCs are bag holding and they're stuck. That's one way to look at it, right? Interest in NFTs has collapsed, according to Google search. All the more reason to start looking at NFTs. By the way, I will be at NFT LA at the end of this month for anybody who's out there who's into that. Okay. I'm a member of Token Metrics. If a hot coin hits above 80, is that a good buy? Okay, so not investment advice, but here's how I do it. Right? If you see a coin that's just starting an uptrend or basing, right, and that grade is above 80, that can be an indication that that coin could go up. Now, if the coin's 5x'd, okay, the grade may stay above 80 because it tracks momentum. So if the coin's 10x'd and the grade's 80, that may not be a good trade, right? But if it's consolidating or you use the visual trends indicator, which is a moving average, a smart moving average system. So if you catch a grade above 80 as the trend is beginning, yeah, right? That's the way to find the small coins, right? If it's a sideways market, right, and we have to deal with this back and forth in the big coins, then the small coins will help you, So I believe we have a 25% off coupon this month. So let me just put that back up on the screen. Okay, continuing to move my mic further away. Okay, let's get the Token Metrics coupon put up on the screen. WIC25 all gets you 25% off Token Metrics, right? We work for an altcoin company, and if somebody comes in and says, what are the speculative altcoins? TokenMetrics.com has it. Okay, let's take a look at Hero. Okay, nothing here. Got to bring it up on TradingView. All right, we discussed this last week. So in Hero, you have reversal candlesticks very far away from this red and blue moving average line.
Could you reshare the screen?
Okay, resharing the screen. Okay, so once again, MetaHero gets very far away from its Williams moving average. Forms some reversal candlesticks, so there's some hope. I would say the next level for MetaHero, okay, if MetaHero can take out 0.04855, then that's your go signal in this coin, right? That's a sign that bulls have retaken control. So I know I say no FOMO, but honestly, look at this epic give up trade in this thing. Look at this decline from 10 cents down. So if there's a metaverse wake up, and you have to remember, right? This happens in equities all the time. If there's a conference where there can be catalysts for any of these metaverse or NFT platforms, people are probably going to buy that stuff in advance of the conference. Now, that's not investment advice. It's just something to note that if the whole crypto market actually holds together, right, some of this more speculative stuff may go up in waves. You also have to be advised that, with some of this stuff going on in legacy, it could be over tomorrow. More of a Bitcoin and Ethereum fan, really, it kind of feels like more Bitcoin and this new monetary order. But speculate while you can. Okay, let's look at NEAR. Okay, so this is NEAR weekly. That actually looks decent. see what near daily looks like. Okay, so near hasn't really done anything. You could make a case that if today holds, near would be all right. Okay, and then this is sort of aimless, right? So, you know, alts did well, so it's correcting. The question is, can you buy a dip and make money? Okay, let's look at Spell. All right. So big move in Spell, 0.00478 is the resistance point. So Spell went right to a big resistance area. Okay. There's the 13 bottom, right? And there's the big move off the lows. So this has theoretically on a daily chart, if there's a catalyst here, there's more upside. I mean, it has to get above 0.0047. But if I was bag holding in this, I'd be like, oh, well, this could be a reversal. Okay, so Harmony is just sitting on this moving average. Question is it a bird on a wire getting ready to fly? Okay, on a 4-hour chart, it's going to look like every other altcoin, right? There's resistance at at 14 cents. It has not paid to buy it at 14 cents, going all the way back to the start of the month. Now, something could happen where, it could change if it actually does break out. Like if you can buy a dip today and it keeps going, awesome. Okay, Wrong Again is asking about Aave. I did not do Aave yet. Okay, here's Algorand breaking through 79 cents. My God. Thank God, right? Got the Algorand dude out there suffering. Okay, so if Algorand holds above 78 cents, that's good. Let's see if this rally has changed the picture on the daily chart. I mean, yeah, okay, there's resistance at 86 cents, but sometimes I look at these layer ones, right? I look at crypto and I'm like, if stocks go up and a lot of this scary legacy stuff isn't so scary, there's room here. I mean, I don't know if you had no position, you FOMO into Algorand right this second, okay? But I don't think I would be surprised if people started buying dips, right? Let's just see what a weekly chart looks like. Okay, so there's Algorand on a weekly chart. Okay, there's the big DeMark 9 bottom, okay, last week. And then Algorand's got a bid to it. So if you look at this, right, 13 top stopped Algorand, and then this could be the 9 bottom. So if I looked at this and I was long Algorand, I'd be like, all right, well, if I'm trading and I'm price sensitive short term, don't buy resistance. But I mean, if you look at this isn't buy resist, this is buy support. Okay, just because this is just destroyed and there's a nice looking 9 bottom, right? Bill, is TM having any meetups at NFT LA? I don't think we're having a meetup. I think the definition of a meetup is if you bump into me and our NFT analysts who will be attending, right? More will get pumped out via our Twitter, okay? And my Twitter, most likely. And I hear that NFT LA thing is like absolutely sold out. Interesting, I saw interest in NFTs plummet. I don't have it up here, but I'm looking at something that actually helps chart NFTs. Interesting spike up on the Azuki floor price as no one's interested in NFTs on Google. That's interesting, right? We're putting out a newsletter today reinforcing this idea that art and stocks are not correlated. So if there's a problem with risk assets, right, NFTs are something you need to be looking at, especially because no one's looking at them. You don't want to look at NFTs when everyone's looking at them. You want to look at it when no one's looking at them. More analysis and more NFT work coming soon. By the way, your Token Metrics subscription that you're going to get with your discount code gets you access to our reports where we quantitatively score NFT projects. Okay, this is QNT, speaking of quantitative projects. So this is a weekly chart. So if we want to be more constructive crypto, how long has QNT been sitting down at this level? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks sitting at 100. There's a motto that I lived by in 2019 and 2020. The bigger the base, the higher in the space. QNT, I call it maybe stablecoin or CBDC plumbing. It's like a payment network sitting here doing nothing for 10 weeks, right? Sometimes you have to think big picture. So on a daily chart, this doesn't look like anything, okay? But what if long Bitcoin, short the banks, okay, actually produced something in crypto where Bitcoin went to, say, 47, and some of these altcoins went with it? Now, if you're watching this video and there's a problem in Legacy, I did the charts on what's going on in Legacy, right? All you need is one big war hiccup or one big default, but that could trigger something where the US dollar is not the linchpin of the monetary order. So at a moment where no one thinks anything good can happen in crypto, at least for the moment, something good could happen in crypto. Now, eventually crypto is going to get caught up in whatever happens, assuming it's negative, maybe in early April. But you know what? I said that about March, and, you know, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. So maybe there's a problem, but maybe there isn't, okay? I'm very skeptical about stocks and banks given what's going on, right? Somewhere out there, there are defaults, bad loans. We don't know what they are, and that's what's toxic. That is what is toxic. Okay, hey, Bill, Fed funds at 50 basis points, inflation at 8%, long crypto. Okay, well said for the moment, right? In other words, a new monetary order is at hand, and central bank irresponsibility is a problem. Now, if oil goes to 200, that can hurt crypto. Mathematically, crypto and oil go in opposite directions. When oil was going up, that's when Bitcoin stalled. Oil topped, and then alts went up. Okay, but I still believe in Bitcoin and Ethereum as a part of the new monetary order. The question is, how do you trade it? Okay, how do you trade it? All right. Okay, let's look at FTX. Okay, and let's look at FTX weekly, since I think all these daily and intraday charts are all going to look the same. So there's the 9 bottom in FTX 10 weeks ago. All right. And what's FTX done in the meantime? Nothing. So that either means FTX is dead, or it's the bigger the base, the higher in the space. I know people in crypto want this, like, oh, buy it right now. Let's go. You know, I know that they want this like definitive thing, but there is no definitive thing in this market. There isn't. Okay. Don't buy stuff at the top end of a range. So if you're a short-term player, don't buy stuff at the top end of the range. But some of this other stuff is so destroyed right? And it's been sitting there doing nothing, that it pays to take a shot to see if it recovers. Because, like, can you imagine if all that stuff I brought up about legacy is not a problem? Imagine if no one is interested in NFTs and all of a sudden NFTs get hot. Forget about it, okay? So, new monetary order, NFTs not correlated with stocks. The point is, you speculate and you buy dips while you can. The party ends at some point, right? For risk assets. It just does. There's too much weird stuff going on. So VRA, 4-hour chart, still range bound, right? I mean, support is down here just below 2 cents. Would love to tell you something awesome about this, but nothing is happening, right? Like, you know, we have a green day, it goes up, it goes down, right? We have a green day, it doesn't do anything. So what you need in VRA is you need a green day, right, to be followed by another green day. So here is a big spike up. That's like a bear market rally, right? You need a green candle that's followed by another green candle. Why? Because that tells you bulls are in control. Okay, Matic. Okay, let's do audio first. Again, another massive pain trade, right? Audius just sits and sits and sits and then smokes to the upside. So a lot of these coins that we came up with last year, they're almost like coins that you stake, right? They're like staking coins. So resistance is at $1.49. Okay, let's go to a weekly chart. I mean, it has definitely not paid. It's paid multiple times to get Audius down here in this 79-cent area. So yeah, there was a 9 bottom, and visually that looks really interesting, but you had to tolerate 6 weeks, and last week was awful. That's just the way this is in crypto, right? These altcoins like Jasmine, Audio, they look like they're going to go to zero. And then the catalyst shows up, and you have to really understand the fundamentals. I don't know if I'd be getting long Audius at $1 because that hasn't paid either throughout all of 2022. Okay? But there are altcoins, when they have a fundamental case and they turn around and come back. All right? Hello from Hawaii. Hello. Thank you for joining the show. I want to thank everybody who comes on. We have like 2 groups of viewers. We have people who come in for the PowerPoint and people who come in from the requests. So I want to welcome everybody who came in for the request today. We appreciate your viewership. Please hit the like button. That helps us help you. Matic. Okay, so it's like almost like I'm taking a different direction today. Instead of showing you the same shit on daily and the intraday charts, some of this DeMark stuff, like there's a 9 bottom in Matic, right? So let's say there's no problem in legacy. Let's pretend that ETH is okay. Let's pretend that, right? What is going to happen with these layer 2 solutions? If there's like another leg for DeFi, if there's a new financial system that has to develop, well, there's a 9 bottom in Matic. I mean, there was a 13 top over here, right? You know, and there was a 9 bottom in Matic. Oh my God, it's like I can't even adjust the scale. The last major 9 bottom in Matic was at 2 cents. Okay, and then this giant trend developed, obviously. All right, and then on a weekly chart, there's another 9 bottom on top of the DeMark smart moving average. I would say that's constructive Matic until proven otherwise. Okay. Okay, someone's asking for Ocean. All right, so this is your weekly chart. Okay, you have your support near 31 cents. You know, it's tried to go down there 3 times. But you clearly have sellers unloading on this thing on rallies, right? So I think the way you have to do this okay, this has to show you that people are willing to pay higher prices. So you get this huge spike up, you blow out the shorts, right? You know, the give up trade started at 72 cents. So the fact that they took out where the give up trade started from, that led to the 13 bottom. Okay. Now, that said, this is interesting, right? All the bag holders are getting out, right? The bag holders get out, and dip buyers may still have a shot here. Now, I'm sure if we look at the 4-hour chart, it's going to look totally overdone, right? Of course, right? It like blows through all the resistance, runs all the stops. You know, on an intraday chart, everything's pretty much going to look terrible. The question is, can you buy a dip and make money? And we're not going to know that yet. I saw some tweet over the weekend that somebody came in and bought a huge amount of sheep. Okay, so Sheev made a 9 top, comes back off. See if there's anything going on Sheev Weekly. Okay, nothing going on here on Sheev Weekly. If anything, this doesn't look so good. So I would say future of money is Bitcoin and Nano, right? That's something to consider. Okay, let's look at the 15-minute chart of Ape, okay? So this is a 15-minute chart. So if you're watching this video a day from now, this will not be relevant. Okay, there's a DeMark 9 bottom, and we're going to find out, like this DeMark 9 bottom, it does a counter trend rally and then resumes. So you have to be careful that this thing doesn't wind up down at $8. Sushi. Oh, and somebody was asking for Aave. I don't know if that person is still with us. Okay, so that's a 15-minute chart of Aave. That's probably not going to do us any good. Now, there was a case in Aave to just take your profits and go home, right? Buying strength in this thing has not helped you, but there's support on a moving average at 145. So we're going to check the larger crypto market in a second, but man, would it be funny if DeFi came screaming back. Now, there's resistance at 162. So I don't know that there's a case to go out and buy stuff at the top end of the range. There just isn't. Okay. Okay, so a lot of people talking about looks rare, right? Got the 13 top on the intraday chart, and it comes off. And it tries to come back. I think a lot of people hate this. We put out a warning about it a while ago because of wash trading. Okay, it gets destroyed. Right. Now, on a daily chart, this looks like you got 1 or 2 more up days. So I'm not going to tell you that this looks bad, but I don't know if you start paying up for something like this. Right? In other words, if you were holding it, then okay. The old high was $1.63. So if it punches through that, you can buy the return move. But again, buying strength has not paid, right? Somebody was asking for sushi. Okay, so sushi is a giant heartbreaker, right? You get these little rallies, but you can't get anything going, right? If you look at a weekly chart. Now, of course, every time I say this about a coin, it indiscriminately moons, okay? This coin broke my heart. Here's the 13 bottom. There's the 9 bottom last week, okay? So I can't, I mean, that's about as good as it can look. If there's no bottom, yeah, if you see this in sushi and this does not create a bottom, then what creates a bottom? I don't know. Right? In other words, when you look at the weekly charts of all these altcoins, they're basically constructive. They're like long-term constructive. Now, does that make sense in the current macro environment? Well, probably not. So let's just check in on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So Bitcoin is still down. Stocks don't look good, right? The question is, what's more important? Fear in legacy or speculative fire in altcoins? Altcoins are good if you can buy a dip and make money. Okay, so we're going to wrap up the stream here. Right? I want you to stay tuned throughout the week. Right? As this month concludes, big portfolio managers, remember, it's not only the end of a month, but at the end of a quarter. Big portfolio managers are going to decide where they want to put money. Where they want to put money. Right? Our upside targets for Bitcoin could be 42,000. It could be 47,000. Ethereum is at resistance. We want it to stay above 2850. So the title of the video was Wartime Price Predictions for Bitcoin and Ethereum. 42 or 47 for Bitcoin. If ETH holds 2850, that's constructive. To be perfectly honest, in legacy, stocks look like they want to top and bonds look like they want to make a bottom. If bonds make a bottom, that's because there's something wrong out there in the world. If there's something wrong out there in the world, that could be constructive crypto short term, and maybe after the legacy blowout is over, maybe later it's positive or massively positive long term. So you want to make money while you can. Make money while you can. If you can buy a dip and make money, it's a bullish altcoin season. Okay, or it's a bullish altcoin trend. Alts go up 2 days in a row and everyone's like alt season. I work for an altcoin company, that's nice. But the 2-day rally in altcoins does not make alt season. It just means you can try to buy a dip, and if that works, you can carry on. If it doesn't, okay, don't get married to anything in particular. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I'm your host, Bill Noble. I will be here tomorrow.